Alright, well, thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. Our party consists of, again, 8 characters. Darius the Veteran, Rizwan the Acolyte, Panther the Burglar, Adolf the Veteran, Cassandra the Acolyte, Romulus the Veteran, Mohammed the Apprentice, and Oyer the Apprentice. You find yourselves standing either outside or within the tavern in the village of Ulm. Okay, so you have recently recruited a few new retainers and, of course, a new adventurer to your party, Cassandra and her retainer, Romulus. So this campaign is still unrecognized, unfortunately, but soon, hopefully, we get a banner made and a captain appointed and the name made as well for this campaign. But this week, most likely, the seniors of your group will be leading the expedition, whether that be Panther, the most experienced adventurer in the crew at the moment, which is Panther the Burglar, or Darius the Warrior, right? So those are the most experienced adventurers in your company as of right now, or your party. You've had your breakfast, you've packed your gear, you're ready for your third expedition as a party. This is the first adventure for a few of you, maybe the second adventure for some of you. So for those who are not familiar, of course, you've because your characters are new, you have grown up in this village all your life. Ulm is your home, but you are leaving it behind for the life of adventure. Most likely, like many other adventurers in this party, you come from a very poor background, and desperate means or desperate times call for desperate measures. One of the most common ways folk might seek their fame and fortune in a land like this, a world of Dungeons and Dragons, is through becoming an adventurer, seeking your fame and fortune from dungeons and wilderness. Okay, so Cassandra the Acolyte, Romulus the Veteran, and a few other retainers, and Mohammed as well, and Aware, you have recently joined the campaign of this unrecognized party. Okay, and they have been adventuring to a place known as the Caverns of Kaz-Katan, a stronghold that was built within a forested hillside beneath a tower ruin, and it's been long deserted. Legends tell that 2 great personages had once inhabited that stronghold, but they have been long since gone, and people say that a great fortune was left behind, abandoned. It's been too long now, and so adventurers have sought their fame and fortunes from that place. Your party was the first from your village to find the ruins and the dungeon below, and have made it back, of course, to report what is unknown. Your quest, because this is supposedly a legendary location, is to discover what is unknown. Anything new you bring back, any news of the dungeon you bring back, counts as bounty experience. You get extra experience for discovering new monsters or new treasures down there. Okay? So the party has discovered a few new monsters down there and a few different treasures. Likewise, that's the quest is for treasure and monsters mainly, killing them, and treasures, recovering them naturally. That is how you will gain your experience. I think that will be enough for an introduction. So I'll leave you guys to it. You guys should begin with a discussion, and when you're ready, tell me your course of travel to begin the adventure. Hello? Oh. Yes. The distance is 24 miles to the west. It's a day's travel. Or no, sorry, not 24. It's 24 back and forth. It's 12 miles west, so 12 more miles back home. Yes. A total of a day's journey back and forth. If your party is, of course, not overly burdened. Alright. Is it all you have for discussion? Oh, go ahead. Very well. Discussion's good. Everyone had a chance to speak, right? Go ahead. I heard your thieves talking. Good to go? Very well. Shoot. From the tavern here in Ulm, your party makes their way to the streets of the village. And soon, you stand in the markets of Ulm. Ulm is known for its produce. It is a farming village in the grasslands near the hills. It is on the borders of civilization. This makes it, of course, a great place for trade. Often, they need to be resupplied from the more civilized settlements to the east and south. Alright. Your party is now in the markets, I know. Hey, if you have background sound, mute yourself unless you're speaking, please. No worries. Just so others can hear. Let's see. Alright. So you're now in the markets of Ulm. One at a time, I'll have you guys purchase gear. Who needs to purchase gear first? Otherwise, I'll start with Cassandra. Alright, any objections alright, Darius will begin, okay? So Darius, you have 1 silver. What would you like to purchase? Yes, you have a silver piece. What would you like to purchase? Yes. You converted most of it into experience. You earned like 14 pieces. Alright, Pat, you're next. What would you like to purchase? 29 pieces. Yes. One moment, please. The flaming oil you purchased. It's 5 silver pieces. Do you wish to haggle? The food you purchased was 1 silver each. 20 days of food is 2 silver. Would you wish to haggle? You're at 22 silvers. Where do you want to put your flaming oil? Where do you wish to put your food? Alright, the party is not split. You're going through the markets purchasing things. As you purchase things, time will pass. Okay? You have a limited amount of game time, and so do your characters have a limited amount of adventure time, right? Let's see. That is dependent on their silvers, their funding, and their food, naturally. Short bows and 2 quivers of arrows. Total price is 6. Is that alright with you? And one thing at a time. You can see my screen, right? Let me finish typing this stuff down first before you make another change. This is not sharing? Oh. Okay, let me try again. Okay, does it work now? Is it working right now? Okay, let me know if it stops working. Alright, Mohammed has received the short bow and arrows. Who else was offered a short bow and arrows? Cassandra. You suggest that he purchases a bow for himself. Let's see how he reacts to this. He goes on to ask, now why should I purchase a bow for myself when I was told that retainers are usually supplied gear necessary for the adventure by employers? My silver, I'm saving it for the church, and to retire, of course, from this dangerous method of work. A bow if you really think I need it. I will purchase if you can promise to pay me half later. However, I already have a sling. I thought that might be good enough. Instead, I shall purchase myself some armor. So he does not listen to you, it seems. He is chaotic. Perhaps that's the case. This will come in handy for my future career. Alright, he's a medium footman now. By the time you finish the markets, let's see. You spent early morning in the markets and mid-morning shopping in the markets, so you do not get to depart until late morning. You didn't, but you did spend two characters purchased items. So alright, the party thinks they're ready. They leave the markets of Un, and it sounds like you're ready to depart from the village. If that is the case, what is your course of travel? And for how many miles do you plan to travel west? Alright. Your party travels 12 miles west of the village of across grasslands, over hills, and into the forested hills, among which most of you are familiar with. This is where you found the caverns of Cascaton, below the lone stone watchtower out here. By the end of the day's travel, you managed to once again find that stone watchtower rising above the rest of the forested canopy. You see it from a distance, naturally, and soon you're before the caverns of Cascaton, the entrance itself. The sun has set. You decide to climb up to the entrance of the caverns. Soon, camp is made at the very entrance, a cavernous entrance beyond which a stone-cut corridor, 10 feet wide, 10 feet tall, continues deeper into the hill, northward. You're south of the entrance and camping. Fire is prepared, food is eaten, discussion is had. Is there anything you guys want to discuss for the rest of the night before we pass it by and get some sleep? You have to put branches. Well, for one thing, you're still at the entrance. This is a cavernous entrance. You see no gate nearby. What gate do you speak of, adventurer? Perhaps you do remember a gate, but it's not here at the very entrance. There's just a cavernous entrance here, beyond which a corridor continues north. Sure. Your camp is currently just outside the entrance. Alright. Darius and his retainer have gone off to gather branches, preparing some kind of trap at the entrance for any potential oncomers. A few of you decide to guard the camp during this rest hour, or resting period, before the night ends, or the day ends completely and your characters begin their sleep. When you're sleeping, of course, most likely, you will have a night's watch. But for now, I see the character Mohammed and Oyer keep a vigilant watch over your camp. At least one or two of you prepare fire and gather wood. Perhaps that will be Panther and Adolf. And two of you need to cook the food and clear out the area so that you guys might rest. Not among insects or any nasty critters that might bother you in your sleep. The entry is secured by Romulus. Cassandra, if it's okay with you, you will be the cook. Panther and Adolf, the firekeepers. The day's ending. Night is soon upon you. Your bellies are filled with food and drink. It's a quiet night. Now before you sleep, would you like to assign the watches yourself? 2 on each watch, 2-hour shifts? Or would you like it to be random? Very well. Darius and Rizwan have first watch. Panther and Adolf, second watch. Cassandra and Romulus, third watch. Mohammed and Oyer, the last watch. This roll that I'm going to make is for any approaching wandering monsters during the night. Alright, let's see what you encounter. I'll use an easy generator. Alright, this roll will be for which watch it occurred on. The second watch. Panther and Adolf were awake when this happened. At the distance of 170 yards, somewhere far in the woodlands, in the wooded hills out there in the night, aside from the critters you hear this summer evening, or this summer night, you hear something else. A strange snort bellows throughout the woods. The forest grows quieter. The crickets stop chirping. Something is getting closer. You're not sure what it was. It sounded like a hog of sorts, a bear almost at the same time. It approaches. What do you do, Panther? Adolf shakes his head. Wait, why don't we put out the fire first so it doesn't see us? The two of you put out the fire and the camp soon grows cold. Then you start to wake up your companions, and Adolf shakes his head again. The more of us awake, the more noise we might make. Well, I saw Panther attempting it anyway because you did mention you would. So unless you say to change your mind, I get the final call, right? I'm the ref. So if you mention something, it happens unless you say otherwise. So, right. Alright. Adolf is preparing a missile weapon. What do you do, Panther? Time passes. You hear it again. Another snort. Bellows at the volume of a bear. It appears to be some kind of strange calling in the night. Perhaps it is driving away animals. Perhaps it is wounded. You're not sure, but it is a strange cry that you hear, and it sounds aggressive. Soon, in the moonlight, you can see something has approached from the woods. Something large. It looks like a bear. The distance is now a lot closer than before. Now, oh, wait, that's one too many. And that's the wrong die. Now you're able to actually see it from the distance of 18 yards. It's in the woods still, and it's approaching the caverns from which you camp. Perhaps it's sniffed your trail out. It approaches from the east. As you wake up your companion, the nearest to you, randomly generated, unless you want to pick who it is, you get up and walk toward Darius, shaking him awake. At that point, the creature seems to hear you and climbs up the hill. Adolf yells, "Wake up, everyone!" Right, and soon the camp is, the members are waking to the sound of a beast, and it is cold as hell. Oyer was wondering why he was shivering. The fire was put out. Everyone can barely see, just the moonlight shining upon this beast climbing up the forested hill on which you camp. There's little time. Starting with Darius, what do you do? One thing at a time. One thing at a time. So, what's your first action? Are you shouting or are you doing something else? Guarding. Okay, that's it. You'll all get 10 seconds. Alright, Panther, your next action. Okay. Cassandra, your action. There's a timer on the table. You wake up Romulus. Good call. He's waking too. Mohammed, your action. Very well. What actually happens, we are going to go down the combat procedure, but everyone has declared their intents. I will not give anyone more time than anyone else. You'll have moments to decide what you're going to do. Okay, there's a timer on the table, you all can see it. Alright, so. It looks like you're wearing your armor still. The beast has climbed the hill. It appears to be some kind of boorish man. You can see it is a massive bear now. It's got tusks, a large boar-like head, and it seems to be enraged at your sight. It has climbed the hill, and before it can get any closer, anyone who plans to shoot may declare so at this point. So, very well. One moment. I'll now lay out the relative positions. The monster, at the time of the encounter now, is within feet now from your party. 15 feet from the closest member. This closest member I point to be Adolf and Panther, ready with their missiles, perhaps. Oh, right. But you are one of the ones on watch, so you must be ready. You are behind Adolf, who has his missile aimed at it. Further behind you are those encamped. I will say it shall be Romulus and Cassandra, preparing their weapons and preparing to make their way perhaps toward the monster, ready to defend your camp. Oyer and Mohammed, further back, are making their way up perhaps with missile weapons. Darius and Rizwan, checking their armor and weapons. Alright, so starting with missile phase. No. We're not on movement yet, we're on missiles. So, yes, you were checking your armor prior to this round. So this round, we know you're moving. Alright. But we don't declare that until movement, right? So, I was talking about round 0. Round 0, you were checking if you were wearing your armor. Okay. Let me just go off with the sequence. And when you're going to take an action during that part of the sequence, that's when you shall speak. Alright. So those who decide to shoot from where they're currently standing, this is not movement to melee or movement to missile. This is just straight up missiles. This is Adolf, okay? Mohammed and Oyer might be interested in shooting, but they have to get closer. They have to... Yes, I will say Mohammed does have line of sight. However, this thing is coming up the hill. Panther and Adolf are somewhat in the way. Do you still want to take this chance? Okay, you're gonna wait till movement to missiles, so like get a clear position, right? All right. So for just the missile phase, Adolf is able to get a shot off. Here's his attack roll. Actually, table. Where's the dice tray? What the heck? Oh, there it is. Okay, we'll just restart that. Okay. Alright, there we go. That is his roll. A 14. Okay, so he has a +1 bonus because he's within close range of this monster. Let's see if he has any bonuses. -1 dexterity, +1 for being a first level fighter, -1 for it being dim conditions, total bonus -1, total score 14. 14 is not enough to hit this thing. It is too quick. Alright. He managed to sling a stone into a tree near the monster. That is about all he could do this round so far. Now we move into magic, right? Or actually, magic should have come before missiles, but we'll check. Did anyone plan to use magic? I think there's only one member. Cassandra too. Cassandra, what kind of magic do you plan to perform? At level 1, Cassandra has no spells, but she does have the ability to turn the undead. Sometimes her faith is all she needs. Does she want to attempt so from this position? She can barely see the monster, but it's still within sight, and it can still see you to some extent. Alright. So, did you try to turn this undead? Alright, if it is undead at all. We'll have you move closer actually, so that it can clearly see you. And fear you, perhaps. But that will not happen until movement, which is about to happen. Now we're on movement, okay? So, during the movement phase, I see the character Adolf. As soon as he shot his stone, he fell back into the ranks. But he does not go far. He falls back westward. And as he does this, the monster is climbing the hill. As it's climbing the hill, a few characters charge and intercept it. This includes Darius. Does anyone else wish to engage in melee with this thing? You push Romulus forward, and he does so. He charges valiantly at the monster. Anyone else? Alright. Did you what? Yes. That happens during movement. So, fortunately, Panther was able to get a bright light lit. During round 0, I saw him put oil in his lantern. During round 1, he was able to light it with flint and steel. He picks it up from the ground, raises the bright lantern. This allows the party to see now, without dim conditions. No longer there is a -1 penalty to attacks. And perhaps this is a -1 penalty to monsters who cannot see in bright light. The light is bright for 5 feet and dim for 5 feet. Panther, we have you move slightly closer if that's alright, so that... Okay. You're drawing your sword as you approach, but there's not enough time for you to do all of that at once. So this round during movement, all you were able to do was light that lantern up and take a few steps toward the monster by the end of the round. Okay? So, round 2 you'll be able to swing again, or take another action. But you've already taken the action to light your lantern. Mohammed was able to move, Oyer was able to move a little closer into a clear line of fire. And before Romulus and Darius could close into melee, we'll say that here's one. Yeah. Before you guys close the distance, Rizwan actually waited for the monster to charge up the hill, and Oyer and Mohammed stepped forward and fired off the shots, hopefully before Romulus and Darius got to it. I'm going to roll to see if that was even a chance. This roll here I'm going to make is for Darius and Romulus. If this is higher than the others shooting, this means that Romulus and Darius got to the monster before Mohammed, Rizwan, and Oyer could actually get a shot off. Typically, movement to melee happens before movement to missile. So that's why I'm having it be contested. There's a slight chance that this is not the case. And in this circumstance, Oyer, Mohammed, and Rizwan were able to perhaps get a shot off before the monster could close in. And as they do so, because missiles magic will also happen pretty soon too. But we'll see if if any of the three are able to get a shot off. We'll start with Rizwan. With this, does he have a sling, right? Misses. Alright. Oyer. Okay. Oyer has what does he have? A sling? Alright. Despite the circumstances, with the bright light on the monster, Oyer is able to land a clean shot on the monster. Yeah, we're right now we're doing movement to missiles. We'll be doing movement to magic pretty soon too, and movement to melee. Typically movement to missiles happens after movement to melee and movement to magic. But in this case, we decided to see if perhaps Romulus, Darius, and Cassandra held up for a moment just so that the shooters could get a shot at me before the monster actually closed the distance against Darius and Romulus. That way you have the most combat effectiveness. But yeah, typically, usually, Rizwan, Oyer, and Muhammad would not be able to get the shot off if Panther and Romulus and Darius closed the distance, which they did. So we gave them a chance to perhaps slow down right before the monster could close in, and say that in this case, the shooters got a shot off instead. Right, open spaces are very good for combat, especially when you have the numbers, right? If you do not have the numbers, closed spaces are good. But when you have numbers, you want to use that to your advantage. Get an open space. Let's see, such as this one. Alright, so we currently we do have the high ground at this moment, right? And we're using our numbers to our advantage, which is good. Alright, let's see if they kill it though. I'm going to roll its hit dice. It took a total of, what was it? How much damage? A d4, right? Let's say 3 damage. What was that? It was... yeah, 3 damage. Is that right? No. It was at 22, right? Let's see, so 19. There we go. Alright, now we're gonna try, because we kind of flipped the order, we'll give Cassandra a chance to turn it as well. This monster seems to be out of your limits. This thing is bigger and stronger than you've ever seen. The most fearsome foe in your life. Yes, what's your question? Oh, my bad. Thank you. That's on me. Good call. I already rolled for him. He missed. Very clean shot. What's your weapon? You're a thief, right? So in our game, we use a different kind of ruling for the backstabs. If you have, we do partial backstabs. If you have one of the 2 requirements fulfilled, you can get one of the 2 bonuses, right? The requirements are that your opponent is unaware of your position, or you're behind your opponent. In this case, I'll count that Oyer's shot was considered to be unaware at the start. The monster is running up and he's firing from the dark, so it was not really aware of Oyer's position immediately, right? So Oyo will actually get to deal double damage. An extra 1 point. And Mohammed, same thing. I did not give you the +4 bonus because you did not need it. So instead, you're going to take double damage. You have a short bow? That is 2d6. 10 damage. A headshot. It still stands though, this beast of a man with a boar's head. Okay. And before you know it, Cassandra's up there, trying to turn this thing. But this beast seems beyond her power to control. She tries anyway, and hopes for the best. A roll is made for her faith. And God does not answer her prayers quite yet. Perhaps she will remain faithful, perhaps not. We'll see. But as the movement to magic finishes, we'll finally engage in movement to melee. Because Panther, Darius, and Romulus held their attacks, they did not attack immediately and kept distance between them and the monster, so it could be bombarded by arrows and missiles and all that. I'm gonna say that the monster crashes into them, and as a ruling then, right, in return the monster gets the initiative. It gets to attack before they can. And in this case, the monster has one attack. It crashes into Darius then. Miss. Darius charged it bravely, and it easily evades it. It crashes into a tree. This beast of a man is so strong that the tree begins to snap from the impact. We are now moving into the final phase. The final part of movement, and then morale. So, there was no additional movement, I think. I know that Muhammad, or not Muhammad, but Panther was able to take his final steps toward the monster. And finally, morale. Yes, let's do that. Thanks, good call. Alright. Romulus shall swing first. With his bonuses, that is a +1 bonus for being a first level fighter, or for just being a fighter, his fighter skill, or fighting skills give him a +1 bonus. He misses. Panther will not attack this round. He just took his final steps forward, holding the bright lantern and drawing his sword. Darius was able to attack with his sure. Darius goes for the legs. A low swing with this heavy mace. This weapon is not an ordinary weapon. There's an aura around him. A supernatural force in Darius's right hand swing. Offers him a +1 bonus against this monster. And it is a magical attack. +2 bonus total. A direct hit. Five damage total. The monster's badly beaten, almost to a pulp, in its immediate charge. But it seems almost unfazed at the same time. It seems like it does not care for any of its wounds. And, to your astonishment, it seems like the wounds that it took earlier don't seem to harm it at all. It seems like its flesh. Its flesh heals. However, Darius' mighty blow does not. His blow leaves the monster phased for a moment. It's almost astonished at the swing. Unlike any it's ever felt, perhaps, it looks concerned and continues its rage against Darius. Darius, it looks like you caught its attention. Round 2. The combat continues. 20 seconds into the fight. We begin with melee. If you are in melee, you will attack. Darius, Panther, and Romulus try their best to finish off this monster. I will roll a party initiative. Because your party outnumbers the monster, I will roll 3 rolls for your party against its 1, and we'll take the highest of the d6s on your side. Where's my dice tray? It's not showing up. There it is. Yeah. Alright. Your party's initiative is 3. And the monster's initiative is 4. It gets a swing in before any of you 3 do. And targets Darius again. The monster bellows. Snorts. And tries to tear him apart with its wicked tusks. Darius is strong. He wears heavy armor and is well protected. What are the chances of this thing hitting him? I see a 13, a -1 penalty from the bright light, bringing it down to a 12. But with its bonus to attack, this thing is unlike any monster Darius has fought. It is a lot stronger and a lot quicker than most. It receives an extra plus for a bonus to its attack roll. 16 total. With an armor class of 1, if it were not for his heavy armor and his shield, Darius would have been crushed. The monster crashes into Darius. His shield backs him up. He holds it and the monster's tusks are pinned into his shield. And he begins to thrust with his mace, or swing widely with his mace, as Romulus and Panther continue to flank. The melee continues before any other actions might be taken, and then the other actions will be resolved. Darius' roll is first this time. A natural 20. A direct hit to the face. It is a magical blow. Like the other wounds, the monster was weakening, but unlike the other wounds, which were beginning to heal, Darius' wound does not look like it's gonna heal. The monster's face splits open, and it dies. This is some type of boar of a man, enraged. It is no longer with us. You have survived this encounter and this night. Unfortunately, your sleep was disturbed. Alright guys, we'll take a small little intermission. I'll give you a 10-minute break to go stretch your legs, get a drink. Good job. You survived your first encounter. I'll see you in 10 minutes. No, this was a boar of a man. This was a werebear. I'll show you a picture if you want. Right here. That's not a good. Look for the old school art. Right here. This is the old one. This is the werebear. Yeah. Or no, not a werebear. It was a wereboar. Wereboar, right? Yeah, not a werebear. My bad. No, it looked like what's the old school D&D wereboar. That's what it was. Closest thing. I have a really good picture from Labyrinth Lord. I'll show you guys that one. 10 minutes. Yeah, right here. It's a piece of art. This is from Labyrinth Lord. A BX retro clone, like OSE. But you can see the struggle. This is an old school tough moment. This man tried to fight a wereboar without a magic item. Yes, the magic maze came in clutch. Yeah, that too. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. Take your breaks. Scores are not that bad. Just 2 little flaws. You need 4 flaws for it to be hopeless. Oh yeah, not to do you any discredit, but you did mention you went for the foot. I did see that happen. I saw your character manage, because you got stuck in your shield, you ended up kicking its knee and it tripped up on one knee. That's perhaps what allowed you to get that clear shot to the face of the monster. So that was a good idea. What do you mean? Oh, those are very good, of course. Yeah, level 3 thief. These scores look reasonable for level 3 thief. Yeah, the average level 3 thief has a 6. I'm not gone. We shall be resuming shortly. Is everyone back? I think 10 minutes have passed. Alright, perfect. We shall resume our adventure then. I found Cassandra. I was looking for players. Alright. Let's clear this table up a little bit. Yeah, I think I found you in the Lo-Fi Girl server. I was looking for players. Yeah, perfect. They are much welcomed. Alright. Unfortunately, your sleeps were interrupted, so you have to restart your resting period at midnight. Alright, these are the new watches. Adolf and Rizwan look like they have first watch, Cassandra and Oyer on second, Panther and Darius on third, Mohammed and Romulus on fourth. Okay? I must roll again for any nightly events. Oh, before you go to rest, were there any other actions you guys wanted to take before sleep? You blow out the candle, or the oil. That's fine. Yes. You did not use it that long, only a few seconds, so you still have it. Again, your sleep was interrupted, so you have to restart all 4 shifts. Yes. At the entrance, yes. We have not even entered. Yep. Alright. As tired as you are, you suggest this to the party. Romulus goes out to gather wood. Perhaps you guys can make steaks. Alright. If the whole party does this, it will go by a lot quicker, right? You're not doing this? One at a time, please. Right. Okay, Mohammed is looting. Oyer is on watch. Romulus is gathering wood with Cassandra. Does anyone else want to gather wood? I need one firekeeper too. Darius will prepare fire. Panther, would you like to take any other roles? I mean, there's already like Oyer guarding, so it's very useless of you to do. Okay, you decide to make yourself useless. Alright, Rizwan, you go and help. Okay, Rizwan is going out to gather wood with Cassandra and Romulus. They are a party of 3. Alright, Adolf is going with them as well. Alright, 2 of you guard the camp. Darius prepares fire and guards the camp. Mohammed is looting. Alright. Mohammed, the monster you kill was carrying no loot. There's nothing of value on it. It smells horrible. You throw it down the hill? You back away? Okay. You keep away from it. It smells of, it is stained and it is, stinking with sorcery. It smells like strange powders and, sulfur. This monster was most likely magical of some sort, right? A demon. and it's actually starting to peel apart and decompose pretty quickly. Alright. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, ma'am. Alright, the four of you manage to gather wood and bring it back to camp to prepare steaks. So these four come back with a armful of wood. They set their wood down and start creating steaks, and they surround their camp with it. The fire burns. Panther and Oyer keep watch. Everyone is tired, suffering a -1 penalty. No one has had any adequate amount of sleep yet. This is a chance of encounter during the wilderness exploration. Romulus, Rizwan, Cassandra, and Adolf. During your gathering of wood, your party, unfortunately, begins to hear more noises out here in the forested hills. Another delay. Let's see this. Right. Would you hear instead? This is just a sound you hear in the distance. It is a great distance away. From the hill on which you are gathering wood, you can see a burning fire this evening. Another party perhaps is camping out here in these forested hills. Adolf and Romulus and Rizwan, all three of them suggest to ignore it, to move on. What do you think, Cassandra? You'll go alone? Romulus advises against it. He's like, Cassandra, it's too dangerous to go alone. You must be very careful if you're gonna go. Adolf and Rizwan have armfuls of wood. They have no other hands to carry the wood with, so your wood and Romulus will have to stay here until you get back. Adolf nods. Of course. Rizwan, let's go. The two of them make their way back to camp as the two of you go and scout out whatever that might be. In the meantime, camp back at the entrance is quiet for the most part. Until maybe a turn later. The others have been gone for some time and you start to hear noises again. This time, in the midst of the night, you hear strange insects. And at a great distance, just barely visible, is a strange red light far from your position. But you can barely see it. This red light appears at the distance of 130 yards. It is quite mysterious. Alright, Mohammed decides to go and camp within the caverns. He walks into the entry. You step down into the entry of the caverns. You're within the dungeon now. This means there's a chance for a potential encounter every other turn that you breathe down here in the halls. Oyer follows quickly behind his master, or his employer. Alright, all four of you have decided to enter the dungeons. Whatever it was, yeah, you just start to see it from a far distance, from the hill in which you guys were encamping. With your burning fire, it might see your position too, naturally. Perhaps it's attracted to your light source. Alright, back to Romulus and Cassandra. The TV decided to scan out the firelight and the smoke that you saw from a distance. At the distance of 14 yards is when you finally are able to see clearly what lies at this fire that you saw burning from a great distance. It's not until the distance of 14 yards you see one person sitting among a fire, surrounded by 2 tents. It's an encampment, and someone's keeping watch. You creep up even closer for details. At the distance of 16 feet is the closest you can get while sneaking. I'm gonna roll to see if this person hears you with your approach. They still have not heard you. You are very close now. You're able to sneak up to the distance of 16 feet from this person that is guarding their camp. So you're very close. You're just behind the trees, and you can finally see the details of this person. He sits among his fire and looks very watchful, but he still hasn't heard you or seen you. You and Romulus have crept up this far. This person has a crossbow in his lap. He is wearing heavy armor, a kettle helmet, a scarf to keep him warm. He looks like a Templar. He wears a robe with a cross on it. You approach. There's 2 tents and 4 horses secured to a tree. Carry loot? Load. Yes, they are heavy with supplies, it looks like. Alright, you sneak around toward the horses. Let's see if they hear you at this point. So you have to get a little closer for details. The person still hasn't heard you. Perhaps they're just too tired. Alright, you and Romulus are looking over the horses now. 2 normal horses, and 2 you only can assume to be riding horses, and gambeson armor, gambeson barding. They are wearing saddlebags, and their saddlebags are stuffed to the brim. Except for 2. 2 are not stuffed to the brim. They're maybe halfway full. The supplies includes mostly food and other tools. You want to open the tent from behind, or do you want to enter the camp and open it? From behind. Okay. You lift the flap of the tent, just barely. Let's see if you wake anyone up. Alright. And still no one wakes up. You see in this tent, this 10 foot by 10 foot tent, sleeping among warm blankets and supplies, are 2 heavily armored troops. There's a cross hanging at the entrance, held by string. These look like Templars, holy men. They look very wealthy, very heavily armored and equipped. They are not faces that you recognize though, but they look like prominent holy men, leaders among your clergy, right? He nods. And before we continue, we're gonna go on to Adolf and Rizwan, who made their way back to the main camp at the entrance of Kaskatan. On the way over, you guys think you hear something approaching. Whether that be your party or not, you can't tell from within the caverns. And as you rest here, within the caverns, just the very entry, I shall roll to see if anything else occurs. Well, time has passed. And down the corridors, something does approach. You've been waiting here for some time. Those red lights do not ever appear again, but you cannot tell from within naturally. You do hear noises from outside, and you do hear noises from within. Something slowly creeps out from deeper within the caverns or the dungeon. But it doesn't seem to move very quickly toward you. Every now and then you hear it. The sound is of a strange chirp every now and then. Maybe tapping too, skittering and chirping. But finally you hear noises marching up the hill. Adolf and Rizwan appear. They question why you're inside the dungeon already. They're wondering, isn't it too dangerous to encamp the dungeon? They look back and they just hear mosquitoes and other beetles. Adolf nods and Rizwan nods. Something was spotted when we were looking for wood. A campfire. Cassandra and Romulus went to check it out. They told us to tell you. They said they would be back as soon as they figured out what it was. I advised them not to go alone, or not to split, but they went anywhere, sir. Alright, so you guys arm up and follow Adolf out. Adolf and Rizwan lead the way. Alright, on your way out, Mohammed, Panther, Oyer, and Darius. Adolf and Rizwan came from the south. Those monsters that you saw were also to the south, so they wouldn't have been able to see it unless they were looking back. You see the red lights appear again. This time they are a lot closer. The red lights are 13 yards away down in the forest. At this point, all of you see it. Even Adolf and Rizwan get to see these things. The red glowing lights down in the forest line below the hill. They slowly, continuously proceed up the hill. They are 13 yards away, or in other words, 39 feet down the hill. What is that? Adolf questions. Rizwan wonders too. A red light. Holy shit. Adolf steps back. Is this what you were talking about? But between you and the other party to the southwest, Adolf has to exclaim, I don't think we can outrun these things. At this point, these things seem to be fluttering up in the air almost, flying upward. Let's see their reaction. They're buzzing aggressively and they're making their way up the hill. You retreat back into the dungeon. Alright, who wants to take the front lines as these things fly up toward the entrance? Or climb up and somewhat fly up. A strange, ominous glow from their red bellies. These are giant beetles of sorts. Alien monsters. Like none you've ever seen. Alright, well you're behind the fire, you're within the dungeon. That's where I see you standing. These things are about 2.5 feet long. Strange glowing nodules as their bellies, an ominous red light, a luminescent red light too. You decide to fire at them as they fly up or make their way up the hill. Before we can, we're going to return to Cassandra and Romulus is seen. So back to this story. Cassandra and Romulus, you are going to approach unarmed. Is that it? Hmm. Right. Right. In the middle of the night, you decide to make yourself known to this camp, and immediately the crossbow is aimed. Halt! Who goes there? An acolyte, you say? Sister, the hour is late. Apologies for the hostility. I must be watchful of enemies in the night. Come and sit. I assume you're with that band of adventurers who have been exploring those caverns. We've heard of them. He shakes his head. No. We are a small party of clergymen. I myself am a fighter. But I work for the temple. I protect them. Likewise. Forgive me, your name was Cassandra, right? I'm Eurakis. Yes. Romulus nods. It is. My party here. We have journeyed to Cascaton too. We have just made it out, and we're planning to head back to our town south of here. You see, we heard reports that the dead have risen once more and have climbed out from this cavern. We are to make sure that it is of no great threat, and that is something we have confirmed. Fortunately, the evil within is nothing to be too concerned about. But do be careful. This abandoned dungeon, stronghold, still has many threats. A boar. A boar and a man. Good heavens, if you were lucky, this might have been maybe a confusion of a monster. You might have confused it for maybe an orc. But, you did not say pig, you said boar. In that case, I recommend you do not stay in these woods too much longer. There should be more of them. If one attacked, more will come. Cassandra, have you heard of those who can perhaps shapeshift into other things? Men who change into animals, perhaps. Lycanthropes. I'm surprised you managed to survive such an encounter. Looking at the two of you, you don't seem well equipped. You might know that... Oh, go ahead. You might already know, but just to make sure. Lycanthropes. That monster you faced was perhaps one. They can only be killed by silvered or magical weapons typically. Normal weapons cannot kill them. They can subdue them, but they cannot kill them permanently. So, if your party managed to take it down, and you did not finish it off with a magical weapon or silvered weapon, you must be very quick. There's little time, these monsters recover very quickly from normal mortal wounds. Romulus shakes his head. Good sir, brother, you're mistaken. Fortunately, a warrior known as Darius is on our side. He possesses a great magical weapon, a mace, enchanted by the gods. The fighter nods. Very good. Well, then you are safe with him. Alright, we're gonna cut the scene here. We're gonna go back to the other party for now. Okay, so back to the entrance of Khaz-Katan. Panther, Rizwan, Oyer, Adolf, Muhammad, Darius. You're approached by these red-bellied beetles. They are approaching quickly. Some of you stand at the ready with missile weapons and begin to launch projectiles down onto them. Who among you choose to fire at these monsters? I know Rizwan will. I know Muhammad does. Panther, will you shoot? Adolf prepares to take them on head on. So he provides you guys cover in case they get too close. He stands at the ready with this weapon. His melee weapon. A pull arm. A mighty weapon. Anyone else? Oyer. Looks like he's getting ready to take a shot. And Darius, what is your action? Adolf shoulder bumps you. Let's do this, Darius. The monsters make their way up the hill and soon are fired upon by Rizwan, Muhammad, Panther, and Oyer. Your sudden attack from the entrance I will count as a, for the thieves at least, an unaware attack. They were not aware that they would be fired upon, and suddenly from the darkness above, arrows fire upon them. Alright, first I'll roll for Rizwan. 5. Even with bonuses, I'm certain this is a miss. Alright. There's many foe making their way up the hill. But now we are certain of the numbers. Nearly a dozen. Alright, let me grab a token for these guys. I'll show you how I have to make these guys. It's pretty painstaking to make a token, but I'll show you this is how you do it. Oh shit. see if we can find one. Alright, while I grab this miniature, I guess take a 10-minute break. That's unfortunate. I have pet geckos. I have a lot of geckos. Alright. Two more minutes until the break is over. Grab your drinks, stretch your legs. Alright guys, your break is over. We're gonna resume. So, Adolf, Darius, you stand fast as the three behind or the four behind you shoot. First history's one. Let's see if he missed, right? Yeah. Muhammad was next. Do you want the +4 bonus to your attack roll or double damage? Nine +1 bonus -1 for dim lighting. So then your dex. Oh yes, they are glowing dimly, so it's still -1. Let's see. Oh yes, you're right. There's a campfire. That will help. Okay, so no penalty then. +1 for close range. Mohammed. Dexterity bonus of +1. Thief. Total score 11. You miss. Panther. You want a +4 bonus to your attack or double damage? You miss. Oh wait. Never mind. Let's see. 10 + 1 for close range is 11. Alright, score of 13. You miss. Alright. And Oyer. Yeah, they just seem to bounce off the hardened carapaces of these monsters and beetles. Okay, Oyer takes a +4 to his attack roll. Increases his chances of hitting one. Alright, he hits. His weapon is a sling. And weakens one of them. Alright. And then, after missiles, after magic and melee, now there's movement to melee. Alright, we'll start with Rizwan. These things move pretty quickly up the hill, and by the time they reach them, as Rizwan fired upon them, they ran up that hill as fast as they could and crashed into him and began attacking him immediately. Two of them got past the front lines and crashed into Rizwan and started tearing at him with their powerful mandibles. Let's see if either of them hit Rizwan. They crawl like alien bugs. Very quickly. Like little face huggers. Miss and a... That is 14? Okay. A 14 should hit Rizwan. Let's see what Rizwan has. He has a Gamson shield and helmet. And dexterity of +1. Armor class is 5. His foe though scored a 14 to hit, which is just enough, and with its bonus, it will definitely hit. The damage is 4 damage. Rizwan's hit bad. He only had 1 hit point. He will make a saving throw versus death in this very instance. $11. His wisdom score is a +1. He makes the save. Rizwan will take a level drain. Now he's level 0. His hit points can't go any lower, and the random ability score decreased shall be his intelligence. Crashed and knocked him to the ground. Right, he's in fear. His intelligence is let's see, 12. Let's see if it went down. Alright, it did go down. He is traumatized by the experience. This thing brings him to his knees, right, and it's ripping into him. It's tearing into his leg. And he's just on the ground screaming for his life. Help! Help! Right. It's just starting to bite into his leg. Right, it has not fully pierced into his leg yet. It just started to slice into it as he shakes it off. And he's being traumatized by this event. And the second one gets an attack roll on him. He remains at 1 hit point. And this second one scores a miss. He kicks it off. So Respawn remains at 1 hit point, and has sustained 1 level drain. No, it did not. The first one hits, right? Was it a miss? Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Good call. I remember. Thank you. There's a lot to keep track of. Alright. 3 monsters next against Adolf. Okay. Let's see if any of them hit him. Adolf prepared a shield wall as they crashed into him. Alright. So, he kept the shield raised. So I'll do, if you do a shield wall and attack, you're just gonna lose initiative. Alright. So he lets them all attack, and then he's gonna attack back. What was that? Yeah, so you guys will just lose initiative. You'll let them attack you, and then you'll attack back this round. I'll let that happen. Alright, so 3 against Adolf. Let's see if any of them hit him. Miss, and a miss. And I think that's a miss too. Fortunate. Adolf survives the attack against 3. They crash into him, he kicks and pushes and blocks with the shield. Get off, you scum! And then he retaliates. Oh wait, let me oh yeah, Respawn already shot. Alright, Adolf's retaliation is a d20 roll. 15! Scores a hit. His weapon is a... Oh, he doesn't even have a shield, never mind. Adolf was hit twice actually, I'm pretty sure. He has no shield, yeah. Alright. Nah, he's really easy to hit. Only 1 misses. 2 hit. Before he could before they could close in, I guess he attacked with his polearm. So I'll give him his roll first. His 15, he has initiative before they close in. So he might have killed one of them before the attack. In this case, his d10 of damage. 1 point of damage. He just managed to wound one. That was it. They crash into him, and 2 of them tear into him. The first one dealing a 2d4 damage. Okay, he's gonna make a saving throw. There's 1 death blow so far. There's gonna be 2 death blows, but the first death blow, he died. All right, the first death blow killed him. It was enough to rip him into shreds. It just kind of bounced off its carapace and it moved in. Yeah, he has to drop it to 0 or something, or do a death blow. Alright. He's ripped to shreds because 1 hits him. The other just pretty much double taps him with its second attack. Or the second death blow on him. Just double taps him, ensuring there's no chance of bringing him back. It just rips into him, and he's on the ground right. First his leg is cut off, and then 1 rips into his guts. And in its powerful mandibles, you can see ribs going into the air, right? It is a gruesome sight. Poor Adolf fought for his life. He was brave with Darius. He fought valiantly and died. Alright. Darius' turn. 3 against Darius. We could not protect the entire back line, right? Unfortunately. Darius held strong with his shield. Alright. No, they have initiative, of course. You're doing the shield wall. Let's see. Miss, miss, and a miss. Nothing touches Darius. Wait. There's 4 attacks on Darius. This little sneaky bastard. Alright. 19. A direct hit. Breaks through his defenses. Even with the shield wall, it hits you. 4 damage. Darius takes a chomp. It snaps through his armor, making an opening in it. His status, 8 hit points. Our poor Adolf is no longer with us. He was the retainer to Panther. Alright, Darius, it's time to retaliate. The biggest one is to your right. You attack that one, or do you attack the weaker? Alright, Darius. Here it goes. Your mighty mace is swung. And you miss. The creature is too aggressive and too quick for you. No solid contact. Oyer just finished unleashing a shot, and as his arrow whizzes into the crowd, perhaps he hit, perhaps he didn't, but the enemy crash into him and start tearing at him. They smash into him, right? They just bulldoze into him and start chomping with their mandibles. They leap at him and tear into Oyer. The first attack is a hit. The second attack is a miss. He takes 1 hit. The damage is... The damage is terrible. A bite to the chest. He's on his back. They're ripping into him. He makes a saving throw versus death. Alright, to remain at 1 hit point, he must make a saving throw. His saving throw as a thief, I believe, is a 13. So right now, he's potentially still at 1 hit point if he makes a saving throw. Here it goes. Ooh, so close. It has finished Oyer off. They crash into him, and as Oyer's on his back, just struggling to keep the mandibles from tearing through, his fingers are chopped, and it rips into his guts. His intestines go everywhere. He cries out loud, "Ah! Panther! Darius!" They can't do anything to help him. He dies. Alright. We are now moving into round 2. Before we go into round 2, we'll give the role play to the southwest a moment. They are very, very far away. There is no chance. Yes. Alright, far to the southwest somewhere, Cassandra and Romulus enjoy a peaceful talk with a brave or with a powerful fighter. Is there anything else you wish to discuss with this fighter, Cassandra? The fighter nods. You're welcome to rest here with us for the night, but we will be returning to town by daybreak. Romulus shakes his head. Cassandra, we promised we would return to the party. We'd be deserting if we stay here. We're from Ulm. That's the knight, the fighter, tells you. He's from a town south of here, known as Zobira. Yeah, you're from Ulm. Romulus is from there too. The fighter, the Irakas, he's not from Ulm. He's from another village, Zobira, far to the south. The fighter tells you, or Irakas tells you, you'll consult his fellow party members in the morning, but most likely they're set to go back. They've already obtained what they came here for, information. So their quest here is done. They're merely camping tonight. You know, we're doing God's work out here. We wanted to make sure that this newly discovered location was not any real threat for the rest of the civilized lands. The monsters seem to be keeping their peace. We are just making sure that there is no great undead threat climbing from the depths of the dungeon. He nods, tells you that must have been the wereboar you killed. Yorgos nods. What would you have me do, Acolyte? Join you for your expedition? We are not treasure hunters. You believe there's a greater threat below. Unfortunately, Cassandra, it is not up to me. We were sent by the church, so we must report timely. Otherwise they will think us dead. However, I can bury this one small parting gift. I wish you luck on your endeavors, but going back to the dungeon is not a part of our plan. This will help you though. He hands you a flask. This is holy water. If you ever come across a threat too great for your party to handle, use this. I suggest you use it as a final means to kill it. You might be able to use your normal weapons to subdue it, but this will kill it. Whether this be some great undead, a vampire, or anything else, this will cleanse it. Of course, of course. I see where you come from, Cassandra, and I'm willing to help. There's plenty. Here. He leads you to the horses. I suppose you might need this. He brings out the lantern, some candles, and a tinder box. Without this, you cannot explore naturally. You'll need to see. He takes it. Indeed. And then the next thing he brings out is a spare mace of his. This is a weapon. Naturally, you'll need one of these to protect yourself. I see that you already have a bow, but no major melee weapon. Unfortunately, this mace is nothing terribly special, but it is favored among the priestly types. Maces are a weapon that might spare a life, unlike swords which draw blood. Of course. Fortunately, we also will not need as much food as we have brought, so help yourself to a sack of food. Romulus takes it. Alright, so he gets a sack full of food. 60 pounds of food is 20 days worth of food. You're nuts. Of course. One is a retired adventurer. Her name is Petra. She is a vicar. The other one, her master, our master, is a curate. He's journeyed very far from a town south of Zobiera. He also is a retired adventurer. Now he serves the temple alone. He nods. Our final companion is a fellow fighter like myself. He's my squire. Yes, he is sleeping in my tent. And he points at it. That tent will only have one person. God bless you, Cassandra. Take care of yourself. Perhaps we'll see you again, or perhaps we'll meet again. If you ever visit Zobiera, pay a visit to the temple. Petra works there. Romulus also bows in respect. And the two of you take your leave, making your way back to your camp. Right, on the way through the woods. Alright. Back to the immediate scene. We'll finish off this conflict, which happens within seconds naturally. Let's see. Going into the 22nd mark, round 2. Okay, back into the combat. We'll start with any melee combat. Okay, this is Rizwan. Yes. Okay, that'll be it during the movement phase. Alright, so Darius, Rizwan, you guys are in melee. Alright. Oh, you guys wanted to move during round 1? Alright, well, you can't move in a melee. If you're in melee, you have to do 2 types of movement, either a full retreat or a fighting withdrawal, which happens this round. However, the other characters that were not engaged in melee easily retreated into the caverns. This includes Muhammad and Panther. They disappear into the caverns. Unfortunately, this round, you have to spend this round to do a fighting withdrawal into the caverns, or a full retreat. So, but before that can happen, Respawn is attacked twice. He yells for help. There he is! Help me! Right, as he's swarmed by 2 beetles. Alright, one of them manages to hit him, I think. 15 plus 1, 16 hits him. Respawn has already been wounded. Sitting at 1 hit point, he makes another saving throw with a death blow coming his way. This one finally fails. There's no chance. As he mumbles his last word out loud, asking for you, his last words are Darius, Darius, right? And they rip him to shreds. Alright. And then, there's immediate melee over here with Darius. Let's see how this goes. So, Darius. 4 of them attack you before movement, right? So, because they're already in melee with you. So, let's see how this goes. And you cannot attack back because you're doing a fighting withdrawal. Or do you want to do a full retreat? Full retreat will ensure that you escape. It's not really how it works. So, in a melee, you can only move out of the melee if you do a fighting withdrawal or a fighting retreat. You can move and attack, but then they're moving and attacking at the same time then. So, fighting retreat is just a dead sprint. You turn your back on them, turn tail, and sprint off, right? A fighting withdrawal means you push your foes away and then you run. That way the enemy cannot attack you while you try to escape, potentially. Or they do not pursue you that round. So then you'll get some distance between them and you before you start moving again. So are you doing a fighting withdrawal? Or are you doing a full retreat? A full retreat that will give you the most distance, so they won't be able to catch up with you for sure, usually. Full retreat into the caverns. Alright, let's see how this goes. The others are sprinting down the caverns too right now. It's their best bet. Okay, Darius. Let's see how this goes. That means full retreat offers them a +2 bonus to attack, and then your shield does not save you. Or does not provide any bonus. Okay, here it comes. 4 attacks your way. Alright, your armor class was a 1, right? We'll start with this 15 here since it's the highest roll. This 15 gets a +1 for the monster Stacko. That's a 16 then. +2 for your retreat. That's a 18. And then let's see. That's it. Without your shield bonus, it is an armor class of 2, and 18 is a hit. The other 3 rolls will miss. Fortunately, your armor will protect you, but this one hits you. 1 manages to tear into your foot, your boot, your back heel, and deals a total of 4 damage. A second blow to Darius. His boot is sliced open. One powerful mandible chomps at his heel as he barely escapes the masses. He sprints off into the caverns, and let's see if the monster shall pursue. You guys have backed off, have shown that you've given up the fight. They are confused and uncertain to whether they will pursue or not. They're no longer immediately hostile anymore. Darius runs down the corridors and they begin to feast among those who have been killed. You guys race down the corridor into darkness. You're just running down a dark hallway, and then eventually Muhammad and Panther crash into an iron gate. Oh. Right. You have to run down the hallway, maybe halfway down. You set your gear down, you need light to light your stuff. So you're just kind of feeling around, you get spikes going, it takes time. And eventually, you know, in just the complete darkness, you're just feeling it, right? Feeling your tinderbox from your bag, and then taking it out, striking it, and there's a few sparks, and then finally, the oil is lit up again. So the oil was poured again and lit up, and finally, Darius, you ran over to them. You can hear them. They stopped like halfway down, or like 30 feet down the corridor. It looks like. Monsters did not pursue, and then the light reveals you are in fact in a 10-foot wide, 10-foot tall corridor. 3 of your companions were killed. All 3 of them, fortunately, were not adventurers. They were all retainers. Yeah, all animals out there are lost to the monsters, if you left any out there. They chomp and rip at... What was it? There's a lot of them, and they love to eat when they are hungry. But they prefer the flesh, so hopefully they don't eat your food. We'll find out after they're done. You wait in... Are you guys planning on exploring from here, or do you guys just want to wait them out within the corridor? Something did approach from the dungeon itself, beyond the gate. Finally, it does come into view maybe a turn or two after you guys retreated, so 20-ish minutes later. One of them does actually enter into the dimness of your lantern light, which is roughly 10 feet away. Right, finally one of them kind of scampers over. What was that? Tap, tap, tap. Whatever it is on the ceiling. Black-legged. This thing is some type of arachnid. It's staring at you from the darkness, and suddenly beady red eyes start glowing in the dimness of your light. 8 sets of eyes. You want to start heading out? This thing, let me see its reaction to you now that it's coming to your light source. It seems confused and uncertain of you, right? You're just watching it. Muhammad's getting up like, fuck this, right? It's making its way out. Darius, you're the closest to this thing. And Panther's holding the light out toward it. It's on the ceiling, but the ceiling's 10 feet from the floor, so you can still reach it if it does come over your head. And it's just waiting there at the moment. As Muhammad gets up and leaves, let's see its reaction. Now that's a positive thing, so it's a +1. Alright, it still just waits there. It seems to want to go the way that you guys are at. It's like shuffling on the ceiling, right? Trying to figure out if it wants to continue your way or press retreat. Muhammad, okay, we're gonna cut this scene and we're gonna go back to Cassandra and Romulus. Sometime later, you guys manage to get back to your camp, but when you step out from the tree line, the camp is in many colors, or it's glowing red. Glowing red dots line the tree line on the hillside where your camp was. The fire still burns, but it's starting to weaken. No one's feeding it, you think. And you don't hear any chatter up there. You just hear crunching bones and snapping. It does not look like a good sight. You can't exactly tell what's happening, but you can see an ominous red glow coming from the trees. Romulus stops and crouches. Like, holy shit, what happened, right? Romulus says, I guess we just have to wait it out. Looks like our party is lost. Alright. Is there anything else you want to try to do, Cassandra, aside from wait and pray? You can't see any of the monsters from where you are. You just know that they're there. All you see right now is glowing red trees. That's it. But you can hear crunching and snapping and chirping from the hill. You're a safe distance away. You're roughly... You see this ominous glow and hear the crunching from 15 yards, 45 feet down the hill. Yeah, you have the wood in your arms, that's right. Start a forest fire. We'll need a large enough fire, but who knows how out of control it might get. Are you sure you want to do this, Cassandra? We might trap our friends up there. The hill itself is forested too. So to picture it, we are playing Module B1 as most of you know, right? I'll show you. Here's a picture of it right here. The stone keep in the forested hills. It's almost a jungle out here. But somewhere below that keep is the entrance to Cascaton. It's heavily vegetated and very moist, so fire will be very difficult. It will need to be very hot and dry. But at least we'll kill the monsters. Who knows if they're already dead or not? Romulus questions, right? This is terrible. But he is chaotic. Whatever you want to do though, I'm willing to make the sacrifices. Let their deaths not be in vain. Perhaps we should have never abandoned our party. Perhaps we should have never left home. He's doubting himself at this point, as you guys listen to the crunching and snapping of bone and flesh. He nods. I do. So you go toward the edge of what? The red light? Yeah. Go to the edge of the red light. You lay your wood down. Okay. It's been done. As you approach at this distance, you get so close to the point where you can actually tell the details. You go up the hill and you're within feet now instead. You're at the distance of, the closest one is 12 feet from you by the time you get up the hill and are able to see the radius of the light, and you're 12 feet-ish away, and you can see you're approaching from the southwest. You can see they're ripping into flesh and bone, right? They're munching, picking up flesh and bone with their mandibles and dropping it into their mouths. Alright. You want to light up this wood? Alright. You have a tinderbox, right? Alright. You get a fire going, you start cracking flint and steel, and let's see if that attracts their attention. They hear you, look at you, and start chirping. Right? They're scurrying down the hill now. You start the fire, right? And there's this pile of burning wood, or at least it's just a small little flame, but it's starting to spread among the wood pile. And at the fire, they do stop for a moment. Let's see how they react to the fire. They start barking at the fire. You guys make your way down the hill. Like chirping, the beetles make chirping sounds toward it, like cricket sounds at the aggressive cricket sounds at the fire. Yeah, they're long dead. Yeah, they're long and dead. All right. Darius. Yeah. Back to your scene, right? Mohammed, you did run down for a little bit, right, after that monster came, and you halfway down, almost outside, you could hear them feasting among your men. So you went back to Darius and Panther, who called you over and explained the situation, perhaps to let the monster through. And as you waited and thought, the monster is waiting on the ceiling too with you guys, northward, just carefully observing you from a distance, almost human-like to some extent. But you wait and wait, and you discuss and think things through. But suddenly you hear the monsters are chirping outside. All of them start chirping aggressively. What do you do? Alright. Mohammed's like, sure. Panther, what do you think? Oh, okay. So you guys make way for it. You lower your light. Let's see how the monster reacts. Alright. It wanders off to the south, toward the entry now. Skittering off to the entry. And it might have smelled the food, the flesh. It's looking for easy pickings, perhaps. You see it exit out into the night, right? Outside, into the woods. And it joins the commotion. But most of the chirping fades, and you hear the monsters perhaps descend the hill. You're not sure what has caused their retreat, but they do descend the hill. You also start to hear a large fire burning from outside. It looks like we might have suffered too many casualties, so pushing forward doesn't look like a great idea at this point. Unfortunate. So, Cassandra and Romulus, you managed to retreat down the hill. The monsters do not pursue you. They seem distracted by the fire you made. What would you like to do down the hill? Let's see his reaction. He's against it. At this point, he tells you, "We are pretty far. We've lost our entire party to these monsters. I suggest we cut our losses and make our way home." If any did survive the event, perhaps they've already retreated at this point. But it looks like our camp has been destroyed, and a few of us didn't make it. He nods. Of course. You can turn off all the lights. Yeah. He nods. Thinking for a moment. Let's see his reaction to that offer. Yeah, he agrees completely. You lead the way, Cassandra. I'm with you. Alright, so make your way back to the Templars. Okay. Yeah. They're pretty far though. But yeah. Let's see. You run to the Templars. Alright, back to the party within the dungeon. That spider has disappeared out into the wilderness. And maybe there's only a couple hours before dawn at this point. You've been up all night. Oh, I forgot. We should have been suffering -1 penalties this whole time. But we are exhausted beyond any understanding. We didn't sleep all night. We were tired from yesterday, so at this point we're suffering a -2 penalty. It's almost done. Alright, yeah. Sorry, you're not there anymore. So, it's just those three at the moment. Let's see. Alright, but, yeah, you waited out and eventually, that monster never returns. And all the chirping fades away and time passes. So, it seems cleared out, perhaps. Alright. Mohammed, any input? You with Darius or something else? Okay, and Panther, what do you think? Alright. So they're headed out, Panther. Are you willing to go with them? Provide the lantern light? Alright. Eventually you get outside and what's left of the carnage is very little. We'll start with Rizwan's loot, if he has anything at all. His attire, completely destroyed naturally. Let's see. So yeah, the tire is completely destroyed. Symbols nowhere to be found. He did. Alright. Shield is broken. Let's say chomp through that. His gamson completely destroyed. His helmet damaged. His flail is damaged. His mace is damaged. His sling and stones Gone. Alright, that's all that's left of him. The silver, let's see if they ate that or not. Yeah, they swallowed that shit. The beetles love treasure. They love to eat it too. Let's see. Alright, so Rizwan has no loot, unfortunately. He is dead. Okay, the second character we try to loot is Adolf, one of our newest members. His polearm is damaged. His sling and stones, unaccounted for. They're somewhere. The rocks are scattered. The sling and stones, just the bag is torn apart. His attire annihilated. So there's only one thing salvageable from him. His coins, he had none to begin with. Alright. And the final member you try to loot, Oyer. Alright. Also had no silver. His attire, destroyed. His key, it was small enough, but probably got swallowed. His sling and stones, scattered, useless. His sack, swallowed, or destroyed like the clothing. His tinderbox, broken and open, destroyed. Almost. His torches, they were all snapped up except for half of them. So 5 salvageable torches, at least. Alright. Do we want anything from Oyer? You will take the torches? Okay. Okay, we'll check your horse to see if anything's left. You're holding an armful of torches because you have no other way to carry it. Your Rouncy, dead, eaten. Your tack, damaged pretty badly. The saddlebags torn to shreds. The food, carried off, it looks like we're eaten. The cart, damaged, chomped and bitten. The rope, torn in half. Half of it is salvageable. Tinderbox, damaged. Alright. So, do you want the rope? You'll take the rope, yes? Alright, put the rope on. The other stuff is badly damaged. So, and then who had the food on them? Yeah, that food is unaccounted now. It's in the cart. Okay. Alright. It's time to head home. Do you guys remember the directions home? Very well. And then I'll tell you the results after we finish up Cassandra's and Romulus' scene. Alright. By the time you march back to their camp, it is dawn. Alright, it takes an hour to get to their camp. And they are gone. They left at daybreak, so. Indeed. Alright, Romulus and Cassandra, do you know the way back to your village? Cassandra, do you know the route back to your village? Indeed. Alright, tell me. Which way? East. Alright, very good. And for how long do you plan to march east? Minutes. Alright, well, east 10 minutes. You're still in the forested hills. Romulus tells you if we're trying to go home, it will be many hours before we're home again. The two of you are exhausted. You attempt the trek home, or do you want to go back to your camp, or where are you trying to go? Marvelous nods. We've been up since the other day. We've had much time to rest. Perhaps we shall eat and then sleep and then march when we're recovered. You know, you guys build a fire, you have some food, and you both fall asleep. A rule is made for any encounters while you sleep. 8 hours later, you wake up refreshed. So, no one came to your camp while you slept, fortunately. And with that, you'll be able to march home. So, do you know the route home? Very simple route. Alright, we'll give it to you this. We'll give it to you this once, since I don't think anyone told you at the start, but you traveled here 12 miles west, so the way home was 12 miles east. So you and Romulus marched 12 miles east. Yes. That's how you get home to Ulm. Yeah. You're already headed in the right direction. Indeed. Alright. So congratulations. Unfortunately, very little treasure was obtained. There were many kills, fortunately. No, not really many kills, but on your side we suffered some casualties. It was a good experience though, so let's see. But like you already know, wandering monsters are here to slow your party down, not to reward you. So choosing to fight wandering monsters is never a great idea. Let's see. Alright. What was that? I could not hear you. No worries, there's other ways to pay for your upkeep. So. Alright. So. The party eventually gets home, and Panther, Muhammad, and Darius are not sure whatever happened to Cassandra and Romulus, but a day or two later, Romulus and Cassandra arrive back in town too, and report that they tried to save you guys, but you guys were long gone. So they thought you were, at least. So they encamped the woods and eventually journeyed home too. The route home was safe for us, I think. Let's see, safe and okay. Cassandra and Romulus did come across one threat on their way home. Let's see. Will they ever make it home? Let's find out. Alright, the closest. Alright, fortunately, it was a positive reaction, but at some point, Romulus and Cassandra did come across the sight of a mountain lion out in the grasslands. Fortunately, it went on its way and ignored them. So yeah, there was a fucking mountain lion out there, but it ignored you guys. Yeah, Romulus like, what the fuck? There was luck as, relatively speaking, yeah. Surviving the encounters. Alright, experience time. So So we're almost done with the game. So let's get your experience points, okay? So then we'll do treasure if there's any. I don't think there was. All right. So mainly, again, monsters or experience only comes from 3 things: killing monsters, recovering treasures, and claiming bounties. Okay. We'll start with treasures. No treasures were claimed. Then we'll go into monsters. Your party managed to kill one of the most fearsome monsters in wilderness, at least for a party your level and your size. But fortunately, there was only one this time. Usually, there's more than one. But you came across one deranged, one terrible monster, and your reward for killing such a monster is 200 points of experience for a single kill. That's a lot for one monster. Alright, secondly, you killed, I don't think you killed any of the beetles, yeah. And the spider wasn't defeated, it was just befriended, so there was no XP for that, so you got away with your life, that's the reward. You didn't have to fight it, so. Your experience is divided among the entire party, because you all returned alive and you all were a part of that encounter, so. Okay, that's only for those who are not dead though. Unfortunately, a lot of you are no longer with us. Oyer was killed in action. Rizwan was killed in action. And Adolf was killed in action. All but one retainer was killed. Only one of you managed to keep your retainer alive this time. And that was, of course, the one who wandered off to the southwest, looking for wood to defend your camp with, but didn't really work out, of course. Indeed, he fought bravely. Alright, so, experience is divided, let's see, there's one retainer, so only one half share. So the other half share can either go to the rest of your party, or you guys can appoint someone who you think deserves it. In this case, I might appoint the person who killed the monster. Deserves a 1.5 share. But one of you finalized the kill. Without his weapon, as you know, you would never been able to kill it. That is true, but you all worked hard to kill it. That's true. You all brought it down to your team effort. So let's divide it equally. Alright. Good call. So then in that case there's let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shares. One of those shares are divided, so by 2, right? So one full share is 40 XP. And one half share is 20, and that half share is divided again among the other survivors that do not include the retainer. The retainer is Romulus, right? So instead, the 4 of you receive 45 experience points then, unadjusted. And Romulus earned 20 XP, unadjusted. Alright, now we're going to do adjustments. We're no longer using the, like I mentioned to some of you earlier, we're going to be switching back to our classic method of play soon, once I get L and Oats copy down, but we're not going to do. The reason why we mainly did that on the roll is so that you guys can get higher levels pretty quick. What was that? Oh, no worries. Have a good night, and we'll take care of the rest. Thank you for playing. Until next time, brother. Yeah, we're no longer doing that. That's a temporary ruling, so we're not going to continue it though. We used to do it in the past a lot, but it's mostly so to help you guys with levels. Alright, so your silver should be spent once again on adventuring gear only. We're going to keep it separate, so Alright, there's still bonuses though, since you guys stayed till the end. You can receive your bonuses. Alright, so for the bonuses, let's see. The adjustments are in the reference channel. I did actually adjust them a little bit. So they're still the same bonuses, but not for the same exact reasons. Alright, we'll start with prerequisites. That has not changed. So Cassandra, let's see if you meet your prerequisite. Your character is a cleric. She has 12 wisdom. She meets it averagely. So 1% bonus. Secondly, when it comes to party rank, I believe you were among one of the leaders. Even though you did not lead the main party, you led a separate party. So that's 5%. And then playing your role. You either role played fair, well, or best. I think you were one of the best role players tonight. So your total bonus is 11%. And you're welcome. Yeah. Thank you. So see, 11% bonus to your 45 means you actually earned 49 experience points tonight. And to give you an idea of how your progress is, typically you want to earn a minimum of 10% of what you usually of what you need to level up. So you need 150 experience to level up as a cleric. So you need at least 15 to do just fine. You earned 3 times as much. So you did really good tonight. Next we'll do Panther. He meets his requisite with a 5% bonus. When it comes to leadership, today he was one of the managers. And when it comes to roleplay, he did good. Total bonus, 7%. So it's 45, just by 1.07. He receives 48 points for his efforts today. A bonus of 3. Alright, the character Darius. He does not meet his prerequisite, just average. So 1%. Role playing wise, play this role. He was, I would say, he played it really well as a fighter. He did not, perhaps, let's see, because he is a chaotic character. Bad reputation. Doesn't mean he's useless though. But he played that really well. He did not. He saved himself. Right. Very end. So I would say one of the best role players tonight. Also was a killer of the monster with his magic weapon. Lastly, leadership. I believe he was one of the managers tonight. Let's see. Alright. Total bonus 7%. He receives 48. Alright. Muhammad. Let's see, his player's no longer here, so we'll skip over him. That is it. So no treasure was gained, unfortunately, so we do not have to divide any treasures. Indeed. Alright. I'll post the results real quick. The log. Indeed. It's been a while. Alright. Let's go ahead and change these sheets up. Cassandra has received a total of 49 XP. We'll put this down in her XP box. Alright. Out of 150. We are almost done here. We're just taking notes or logging the game at this point. And now I'll free you guys. When I wake up, maybe. Yeah. If I wake up early enough, probably will. Yeah. So, 49 out of 150. Very good. Cassandra, you're a third the way there. 2 more good games like this, or 2 more games like this one, and you'll level up. Let's see. but maybe you might level up in yeah, single adventure, or it might take you longer. We'll see. Alright, next up is Romulus. So, Romulus received, was it 20 XP this game? Alright, his master is here, so he does get a bonus, or his player, which is Aina. His strength bonus is 1%. Role playing wise today, he did, you know, good. And then he fought, right? And then, of course, when it comes to leadership, he was just a follower naturally, he's a retainer. So, he managed to do his part. But yeah, 2% bonus, so I don't think that's going to be any bonus, so just 20 XP. No, because that's the retainers only get to roleplay if you let them, right? If you talk with them. So let's see, do their job, right? So if you order them around, yeah, and they do their role play, as in do the role of a fighter or magic user, then they get the bonus. Yeah, you got a 1%. All right. Almost. Panther, you're next. With 292 plus your experience, you earned 48. What's 292 plus 48? $340. Okay. You need 480 to level up. Right. That will be it for Panther. Thank you, UB. Have a good night. It was fun. See you at the next one. Alright. Poor Adolf was killed. Not earned any XP this game. Darius. 318 plus 48. Puts him at 366. Indeed. Alright, good game. Thank you for playing. If you stick to the end, yeah. Hang out for a little longer. Rizwan is dead, so I get a Martins on a sheet. Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance. He got to 45 XP. You know, if he survived 2 more games, he would have been fine. That would have to be a very powerful gust to win. Alright. Okay, Muhammad. Well, he didn't die. Dang. Alright, his retainer died, that's right. But, he earned experience. He earned 45. Very good. He's good to go. Oyer. Oyer's the one who died. He is dead. Unfortunate. Okay. So, looks like the two of you have made it to the very end of the game. At this point, you are both welcome to take your leave. Thank you for playing. I hope you had fun. Right, I'm Egan, your referee. And that will be it tonight. If you want to stick around for the discussion, I'll stick around a little longer for you. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome to channel. Is there anything in particular you want to discuss though, Ina? I know Grimly wants to discuss a retainer. Sure, yeah. So we'll make this final discussion, and then we'll take off. So, Grimly, a new retainer. I'm gonna grab a record sheet for you. Alright. This person offers their services to you. We don't have time to look for a retainer right now, but we do have time for you to be approached by a retainer. If you offer them the standard half share, 1 silver piece a day, and food and accommodation, he's yours. Yeah, no, I said there's no down payment, right? It's just someone offers their service to you for the standard fee. It's a brand new rolled up character, that's what we're gonna do. So you don't get an existing experienced adventurer, you just get a brand new guy, fresh. Like as if it was another player's character. Well, you asked, so we'll get it done now. So that way you're ready for tomorrow, if you're playing tomorrow. Or later today. Let's see. 12th Street. Alright, 10 intelligence. 15 wisdom. Indeed. Seven dexterity, 10 constitution, 13 charisma. No, he's a cleric. Indeed. Indeed. Alright, this is your new retainer. His name is Pow. Four. Oh, I rolled the wrong die. No, he got 3. Sorry. I remember. He got 3. Alright, I'm gonna assume you did not take your cart, tag, and tinderbox with you since they were broken. Alright, cool. Yeah, you do have your attire, your lamellar, dwarven helmet, all that's still good to go. Indeed. Right. That will be all. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for playing. It was fun.